Namaste, welcome to our channel Ayurveda 360. Topic for today's discussion is Ayurveda Avatarana. So this video is helpful for both first year students who are studying Ashtanga Hridayam as well as for those who want to know more about decoding each and every shloka of Ayurveda with the example of Ayurveda Avatarana. So the shloka what you are going to take is from Ashtanga Hridaya Sutrasthan first chapter, that is Ayush Kami Adhyaya. As everyone is already well versed with this shloka, that is Brahma Smrutva Ayusha Vedam Prajapati Majigrahat So Ashvino Tau Sahasraksham Te Atri Putradi Kan Munin Te Agniveshadi Kanstetu Pratak Tantrani Te Nire. So this is the shloka what is mentioned in Ashtanga Hridaya Sutrasthan first chapter. Initially we will go through the Shabdarth, that is Padarth. We will try to split the shloka. We'll try to understand each and every word and then analyze the meaning individual word wise. After that we'll try to decode what it actually means, whether it is actually the meaning of the words itself or it is something beyond that. So initially the word is Brahma. Smrutva is the second word. In the same way you are going to get Ayusho Vedam Prajapati Prajapatim, then Ajigrahat. So that is Saha Ashvinau Tau Sahasraksham. Tau is different, Sahasraksham is different. So Atri, that is Saha Atri Putradi Kan Atri Putradi Kan Munin. So Munin is the Visheshana Pada for Atri Putradi. Te Agniveshadi. So Te is for the Bahuvachan root, then Agniveshadi Kan Te Tu Pratak Tantrani Tenire. So this is the split version of this shloka. So if you want to know the meaning individually, which is the actual way of learning Samhita rather than reading the meaning as a whole. So Brahma Smrutvaha. So here the subject, or you can say the person whom they are referring to, is Brahma. So what is Brahma? We'll see later. Smrutva. So a person called, or a group of people called as Brahma. Smrutva. Smrutva referring to memorizing. So here if you decode this word, it is Smriti. The basic word they are talking is Smriti. Then by adding the Katva Pratyay or Tva Pratyay, however you can pronounce. So you are going to get the Smrutva. So basically Katva Pratyay is used to denote or to denote two functions. Two functions done at the same time, one after the other. Like I went to the college and did my homework. I went to home and had my breakfast. So this is how you are joining two sentences with a middle term, or you can say Pratyay, that is done by using the Katva Pratyay. So here Brahma Smrutva. Once Brahma memorized the what he memorized, so that is mentioned later. Ayusho Vedam. Ayushaha Vedam. The Veda, or you can say the Shastra, which describes about the Ayu. Ayushaha, which describes about Ayu, that is Ayushaha Vedam. Or in other words, simply you can tell Ayurveda. What is known as Ayurveda in present days, very famously. So Brahma Smrutva Ayusho Vedam. So Brahma memorized the Ayurveda Sutra, or you can say Ayurveda knowledge. After that, what actually he did? Because by using Katva Pratyay, you have to tell the next part also. So after that, he explained it to another person, and he has been named as Prajapati. Prajapati is the second person in this tree. So Prajapati is getting the whole knowledge of Ayurveda from Brahma. So after Prajapati, you have Prajapatim. So Prajapatim Ajigrahat. So Prajapatim is in Dvitiya Vachan. I mean Dvitiya Karak. It is in the second, you can say Karak. So if you want to tell in Hindi, it is very easy. Ko, Kartane, Karma Ko. So Karma Pada is here Ko. So that is Prajapati. So Prajapati Ko Ajigrahat. Ajigrahat. How to understand this word of Ajigrahat? If you go through commentary, that is Dalana as well, Hemadri as well as Aruna Datta. So you can see the word meaning, that is Avabodhayat. Avabodhayat refers to, he made him to understand. Brahma made the Prajapati to get knowledge of Ayurveda. That is the simple meaning as it is. So Ajigrahat, why the word is mentioned as Ajigrahat? So Jigraha refers to Grahana. That is to grasp, or you can say to give or to get. So he got the knowledge. Who got the knowledge? That is Prajapati. Ajigrahat. So why the letter A is here? A is denoting here past tense. So simply you can tell, if I want to tell Aham Patami. So this is in present tense. If the same sentence has to be converted into past tense in Sanskrit, then you will have to tell Aham Apatan. So Apatan. So this is the past tense of the same meaning or the same sentence. So similarly, you can see here also ajigrahat. Ajigrahat basically refers to he got the knowledge. So this is the past tense of getting the, or you can say complete knowledge has been, or complete knowledge was transferred from Brahma to Prajapati. So this ajigrahat word is mentioned only once here, but that same thing has to be taken with others as well. Ajigrahat ends with the letter t, at, at. At शब्द से ये end होता है. So why that ends with at? So that is due to a pratyay called as Kshatri pratyay. Kshatri pratyay refers to one of the pratyay where a person does a work and then he also does another work similar to Katva pratyay but slightly different. So with the pratyay part we'll not discuss in detail here. We'll try to cover it in some other video, some other time. So Kshatri pratyay has been used here. That's why the word ends with at. That is ajigrahat. So Prajapatim is one word here. Ajigrahat is the second word. So this is the first line. So second line speaks about from Prajapati, where did the knowledge of Ayurveda go? So Ashvinau. So actually it is Saha Ashvinau. Saha is pronoun. Pronoun here is denoting to Prajapati. Ashvinau. So Ashwini Kumara, you know, they are two in number. That is that is Dvivachan Rup. That's why the word mentioned here is Ashvinau. So Ashvinau. Saha Ashvinau. So the person is Prajapati here, the subject. He thought, or you can say he transferred the whole knowledge to Ashvinau. So if you have to tell it in sentence, Saha Ashvinau Ajigrahat. So Ajigrahat word has to be taken with all, just to complete the meaning of the sentence. Complete meaning of the sentence has to be obtained. For that you have to complete the sentence with the Kriya Pad, that is Ajigrahat. So once this tree has been completed, that is still Ashwini Kumar, it has to go to next person. So here next person whose name has been mentioned is the Indra. Indra has been named as Sahasraksha here. So Tau Sahasraksham. Instead of using Saha, they use the pronoun that is Tau. Why? Because Ashwini Kumar are the subject here. So they are going to transfer to Indra. Since they are two in number, Dvivachana Roop is used. So you don't get here Saha Sahasraksham. Here you get it as Tau Sahasraksham. In the previous instance we saw So Ashvinam. That was because Prajapati was single. If you see further in this shlok, there you can see So Atriputradi. Again Saha has been repeated here. How Saha became so, that we'll see in again another of the video where Sandhi has been discussed in detail. Saha has become so here. That is due to the Sandhi, Visarga Sandhi, one of the Visarga Sandhi. So here Tau Sahasraksham. So Ashwini Kumara transferred to the Sahasraksha, or otherwise called as, or famously known as Indra. So from Indra, it has been transferred to Muni, many of the Muni. So for those Muni, to represent those Muni, he has given certain names, certain examples like Atriputradi. So basically he wanted to tell many of the sages got the knowledge of Ayurveda from Indra, and to name a few, he has taken the example of Atriputradi. So Atriputradi, you can say they are they represent the whole sages, but there were others as well. That's why Muni is important here. And you can see the words here, Munin, Atriputradi Kan, Munin. So here also you can see it is in Bahuvachan Roop. So because Atriputradi are multiple in number, that's why it is in Bahuvachan Roop, and again it is in Dvitiya. So in the whole sentence, in the whole slok, the subject will be in Pratama. Either it could be the direct name or it could be the pronoun, Saha, Tau, Te. If it is in the second part, that is the person who is getting the knowledge, there you can see Dvitiya. There you can see the Dvitiya Karak. So that is how you can easily understand this slok. So if you have to complete this sentence, this instance, Te Atriputradi Kan Munin Ajigrahat. So Ajigrahat has to be taken with all, just to complete the sentence. Te Agniveshadi Kans. Te Agniveshadi. So now, by now, you already might have understood why the sentence has been written in this way, or this slok has been written in this way. Te Atriputradi Kan, Te Agniveshadi Kan. Because the people who are transferring now are Bahuvachan. That is Atriputradi Muni are the subject here. That's why the letter is Te. The word is Te there. Because Saha Tau Te. Individual case it was Saha. It was plural, that is Ashwini Kumara, that's why Tau. And now it is in Bahuvachan Roop, that's why Te. So that is how easily you can, that is how you need to apply the knowledge of Sanskrit grammar in the understanding of each shlok. Te Agniveshadi Kan. Again it's in Bahuvachana in Dvitiya Roop. So Agniveshadi Kan. So till here the Ayurveda Avatarana is mentioned. So ultimately ends up with अग्निवेशादिकांस्तु पृथक तंत्राणि अग्निवेशादिकान् ते tu prutak tantrani teniri. So again, te letter has been mentioned here. Te again referring to Bahuvachan. So now he is talking about the works of Agniveshadi. What did they do? Te tu refers to Avadharani. Tu is the letter which denotes Nishchit Roop se, or definitely. You can say definitely word or Nishchit Roop se in Hindi. So that is how you have to understand the letter tu. Tu refers to Avadharani. This is going to repeat in each and every shlok or multiple shlok. So you can each time take the meaning of tu as avadharana or nishchit roop. So te tu tantrani prutak tantrani tenire. Prutak refers to individually, because Agniveshadi are multiple in number. So individually tantrani again referring to shastrani, or you can say multiple literature. Again, because they are multiple in number, shastra is also to be written in Bahuvachan roop. That's why shastrani tenire. Tenire is referring to they created. If you see the commentary, there you can see Rachayita refers to create, or they created their own treatise. So ultimately this whole shlok explains, 3/4 part explains about the tree, old tree as such. Then the last part, last 20% of the shlok describes about the works of this Agniveshadikan, the students of Agnivesha, the Atriputradi like Agniveshadi. So by now you might have understood the exact meaning of this shlok by decoding each and every word. So usually the teachers in the Ayurveda college, or you can say students whom they learn in the textbook of Ayurveda, usually take this shlok in the mythological form. That is a person called as Brahma, or you can say the god as Brahma. Ashwini Kumara even considered as some like a part of the mythological story itself. But is it just limited to those mythological characters, or is there something beyond that for this shlok specifically? So that is how we are going to see this shlok from now onwards. That is decoding of this shlok from rational point of view or from empirical point of view. That is decoding of this shlok in present day's time. So start with Brahma, the first word Brahma. So Brahma in general, or you can say very famously known as Gnana in Sanskrit. So Gnana is attributed to the character of Brahma. So Brahma could be a creator as per the Hindu mythology, that is mythological point of view, but in practical, or you can say in rational point of view or empirical point of view, Brahma could be a group of people who are having the knowledge. So in this case, the knowledge is in relation to Ayurveda. If it could be something else, if it was in relation to mechanics, then the Brahma could be the group of people knowing the mechanics. So in that way, Brahma can be considered as group of people who were the initial perceptors of Ayurveda. Whether they were the creators of Ayurveda, we can't tell that, because the time period is not yet, or it cannot be decoded because of lack of evidence, exact evidence, you can say in a better word. So that's why the word mentioned is smrutva. So this is usually taken as Brahma memorized. So in that way usually teachers teach this topic, but actually smrutva is basically referring to, or you can say is giving us an idea that Ayurveda was existing even before the textual matter came into the outside world, which means it was present as a oral tradition due to lack of writing materials and multiple reasons, as you already know, but many of you already know. Later the writing and publishing part developed, and ultimately we are having the books, what you can see in present days. So initially it was only through oral tradition. So oral tradition needs memory. So through memory only we can transfer one information to another. That's why smrutva here refers to transformation of memory, the information through memory by well-learned sages in the initial days. So Brahma can be taken as group of well-known people in the field of Ayurveda. So second character is Ayusho Vedam Prajapati. So Prajapati is the second character. Here it has been mentioned as Prajapati. So Prajapati basically refers to a group of people. Again, it's a group of people. We can't just tell that one person created Ayurveda and he just transmitted. It is impossible. Otherwise, the whole India and Indian subcontinent wouldn't have this much, you can say, vastness of Ayurveda. It is definitely a group of people. So Prajapati could be taken as the group of people who had some positive thoughts, or you can say well wishers of the society. Because usually what happens is, a teacher before teaching a topic or before transmitting any knowledge usually takes care of the intellect of the student. If the student is having some negative impact, or you can say criminal intentions, then such kind of information will not be transmitted. So only to those people who are eligible from the point of teacher, that is having good thoughts, well-wisher, this kind of people, only though they were given certain information. So here Prajapati can be taken as group of people who had a good vision, or you can say positive vision on the society, that is Prajapati. Ajigrahat, as we already discussed, he grasped the knowledge. So knowledge was transferred. So after that, Prajapati, Ajigrahat, so Prajapati are given the information. So once Prajapati or group of people are given information, now next step is any thought. For example, take Guduchi is considered to be a good drug or drug of choice in Jwara. So this information was transferred to the Prajapati. Now the group of people will have doubt whether it is really helpful in Jwara or whether it is specifically mentioned, indicated in a type of Jwara. So this kind of questions can come, which can be considered as pros and cons. Whether Guduchi can be given to all people or specific Prakriti people or any specific type of Jwara. So what are the benefits of Guduchi or pros? What are the harmful, not rather than harmful effects, you can say contraindications or precautions to be taken, cons of this project of Guduchi. So Ashwini Kumara, what is mentioned here, can be considered as the pros and cons of any topic or any kind of new idea. So that's why Ashwini is always taken in duality, that is Ashwini Kumara are considered to be 2 in number. So 2 indicates can be taken as pros and cons. So Ashwini Kumara is done. Next is Sahasraksham. Instead of using the word Indra, he specifically went with the word Sahasraksha, which basically translates into Sahasra, 1000, Aksha, eye, or you can say in general sense organs. Akshi refers to specifically Chakshurindriya. Aksha refers to in general the Panchagnanindriya. So Sahasraksha, 1000 eyes, 1000 sense organs. So why specifically 1000? Once the knowledge was given to Prajapati, group of well-wishers, they thought about the pros and cons, and then they actually did the research methodology, what is followed now. That is, they took a large amount of, you can say large amount of sample. So sample size of 1000 or thousands, 10,000s or 1 lakh, such kind of sample size can be taken as Sahasraksha. So basically Sahasraksha can be taken as those group of people who helped in studying that particular subject or that particular Siddhant, that particular line or good thought, initial thought. After Sahasraksha, then you have Atriputradi Kanmuli. As we discussed in modern methodology as well, once you get the results by giving trial over such huge amount of sample, you are going to present it in front of the good, or you can say knowledgeable people in the field. So here Atriputradi can be considered as those intelligent or intellectual people of Ayurveda. So once it was presented in front of them, either that could have been accepted or that could have been rejected. If it was rejected, then definitely it is not in text. If it was accepted, then it is considered as one of the Siddhanta. So that Siddhanta is considered to be, or you can say that Siddhanta is used for decoding other, or you can say that Siddhanta is used for multiple other shlok. In other shlok as well it has been applied. So one Siddhanta is obtained by such research methodology, even in present days as well as olden days. Ultimately, once it is accepted, you can see it in your book. So those books can be taken as Agni Veshadi. Agni Veshadi Khan can be taken as those written material, or you can say written documents, evidence of all this research, whatever they have done, and ultimately documented in the text. So this whole Ayurveda Avatarana, if you analyze from this point of view, so each and every Siddhanta of Ayurveda, for example, Dosha are 3 in number, Rasa are 6 in number, Madhura Rasa is responsible for such and such work, excessive intake of Tikta Rasa causes this kind of disease, excessive intake of such kind of Virya, Dravya causes such kind of disease. All these statements, whatever has been mentioned, each and every line is considered to be Siddhanta in our text. So each of them is taken by such a process called research methodology in present days, or it could be taken as Ayurveda Avatarana in the classical text. So in this way, you can easily say that Ayurveda is obtained through this process. So if you have to analyze each of them, Brahma, Smrutva, Aisha Vedam, Prajapati is the second group of people, Ashwini Kumara, pros and cons of each and every topic, Sahasraksham, the sample size where such kind of study was taken. It could be a survey, it could have been clinical practice, or it could have been clinical research, or it could have been even literary research, anything of such sorts. And later it is considered to be one of the Siddhant that is accepted by a group of intellectual people, Agniputra, the Atriputra Adi, and ultimately brought into a document form, or you can say written document form, in the form of Agniveshadi. So this is how you can accept this shlok in rational form. If you analyze from this point of view, then definitely you are going to enjoy other shlok as well, like Ayurveda Udaran. So Siddhanta definition, if you want to know, that has been mentioned again in the link. For that, we will not take time in this video. Siddhanta will take up in other video. So our Ayurveda Avatarana, along with the definition of Siddhanta, will give a better idea in understanding this shlok. So this was Ayurveda 360 V1, Ayurveda Avatarana. Myself, Dr. Nandish J. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe this video with your friends as well as people who want to know more about Ayurveda. We'll definitely come back with a new video very soon. Thank you for watching this video.